everyone, thank you for joining me today for this presentation. My name is Christiana and today I'll be presenting the preliminary findings from our study on the unmet sanitation needs of underrepresented populations in the U.S. As of 2020, 930,000 people in the U.S. lacked sustained access to at least basic sanitation. However, this data may not be nationally representative. In addition to this, wash-related infectious disease, often thought to be absent from the United States, is still common where there is inadequate sanitation. Existing literature indicates that indigenous, homeless, rural communities, households of color, and people living in mobile homes are more likely to experience inadequate sanitation. The needs of these populations must be understood in order to meet SDG 6.2. This scoping review thus describes the socioeconomic and environmental factors related to unmet sanitation needs of these populations and points out where there may be gaps in the knowledge. For our analysis, we conducted a scoping literature review and followed PRISMA guidelines for data collection. We extracted 68 articles overall and defined each paper by their population type as seen here, and proceeded to extract themes from the data. We found that rural communities are generally characterized by a lack of centralized wastewater management and often rely on septic tanks. In combination with poverty, septic tanks are often poorly maintained, which leads to their failure and overflow. Overall, we found that data on rural communities is generally lacking and more research here is needed. Indigenous communities were often characterized by overcrowding and poor infrastructure. Some of this can be attributed to early U.S. policies forcing indigenous populations onto uninhabitable lands. Tribes that have attempted to make improvements often face organizational or funding challenges. For people experiencing homelessness, we found that homeless shelters are often poorly maintained, making open defecation preferable to some and causing mental distress, especially for those who menstruate. Criminalization of open defecation in some cities without offering alternatives does little to help the homeless. Lastly, we found some themes of racial inequalities regarding criminalization of people without a wastewater connection, mainly affecting people of color. There is also a general trend in non-white households being more likely to lack complete plumbing. As of now, we conclude that more research is needed to understand the needs and barriers of these populations, but our findings may serve to inform future innovative and inclusive sanitation products and programs that are seeking to address these needs. For any questions, please email Jasmine Burton, and thank you for attending.